Here is the plan, let it fall through like a handful of sand. Nothing happens overnight, what you must understand. If you dwell on the bad, then you don't stand a chance. Something you want upset, saying why it ain't mine yet. That's because now you have yet to change your mindset. People don't put their mind to rest while they're so wired. A lot of people go to sleep and wake up tired. Power of positivity and persistence. Say that I can, we'll just sit back and witness. Make an impact when our time is done. Make money, help people, and have lots of fun. Whoa.
Welcome to Office Hours, hosted by legendary sports executive, entrepreneur, and investor David Meltzer, where the brightest entrepreneurial minds in business, sports, and entertainment get together to talk about success, failure, and everything in between.
At the end of the day, man, we've got to condition ourselves to make the right choices and give us the power over the external circumstances instead of the external circumstances having power over us.
And once you do that, you start to figure out, hey, I can do this, and maybe I can do this, and then your self-esteem grows.
The truth is, change can be hard, growth can be scary, but nothing is as hard and scary as being stuck somewhere you don't belong.
Take a deep dive into the mind of some of the world's most impactful guests.
Growth doesn't come by talking a lot. Growth comes by listening, by learning, by being curious.
You'll upgrade your knowledge, your skills, your habits, and you'll upgrade your beliefs so that you believe that you can do this.
You will succeed. You just have to believe in yourself and never stop trying.
To share their strategies and tools to dominate their respective fields.
The most important thing is really to work on yourself. It all starts and work on your mind.
And I said, if you can get 1% better every day, by the end of the month, you have 33%. Tell me a business you can earn 33% a month. So it's a great investment.
I'm not attached to my career, my notoriety, my financial success. I'm not attached to it. I have no self-worth tied up in Gary Vee or Gary Vaynerchuk, the entrepreneur. My self-worth is fully and utterly 100% attached to how I treat human beings.
Issue where you save time is that if you really know your why, right, then why are you doing it? Are you doing a career because your parents said that's what success is?
David Meltzer hosts Office Hours.
Absolutely, and thank you all for being here. To Nick and my guy David Meltzer. Good morning.
Good morning.
David, good morning. Before David jumps in, Nick, I know they're live right now with other platforms. I just want to echo Scott what you just said. David's big dog, and conversation, reached out his hand, linked it. Thank you. Seems small, but it was very meaningful. So Scott, I want to echo what you said. TM, I know you joined me in that, and I just wanted to say that out loud. Nick and Drew, please continue on.
Indeed.
Oh my goodness. I can't tell you how much grace I have for being with you in person and watching the energy. The humility to help one another and know people to help one another. So easiest and fastest way to create impact is simply to say thank you. And it's amazing how many people notice when you do say thank you and mean it. And I mean it, man. Thank you so much. I don't know if everybody knows, it's not easy being here every Friday, no matter who you are. And I just want to thank TM and Scott and Mary Lynn and even the G Lundy for starting this. So let's go ahead, set the room, Nick. I'm going to go ahead and jump in and out of the seminar. They're having trouble getting me into there. All right.
Here in the Breakfast with Champions, the best running community on Clubhouse, or of course, whether it's online, we are everywhere. An exercise from today's training, all you will need to do is email David directly, david@dmeltzer.com. And we also wanted to have a special shout out in the celebration of the release of his newest book, Don't Do Business with Dicks, which absolutely has been flying off the shelves, and everywhere that we go, whether it's Chicago for Creative Con or so on and so forth, on our way to over 200 cities this year, the positive feedback has been tremendous. So if you have not gotten your copy of Don't Do Business with Dicks yet, make sure to go, whether it's Amazon, Barnes.
Hey, Dave, can you hear me? Thumbs up if you can.
Yeah, I can. I can hear you.
Perfect. All right.
Can you hear me?
So, I can hear you great, crystal clear. For whatever reason, StreamYard's having some visual problems on.
Should I go ahead and get started? Should I just get started? Because in the notes, can you guys hear me? Let me know if you can hear me in the notes. We can't get you to see me, but hopefully you can hear me. Give me somebody in the notes if they can hear me. Frank or Lebo or Everett, Candace.
Yeah, we see all you guys there. Yep, they can hear us. Yep, for whatever reason,
they can?
a visual. Yep, they can hear us. Yep.
All right, cool. We're gonna start then.
Okay.
Coming up here, we're going to be in Los Alamitos.
Just as a reminder, today's training is available to everybody. All the exercises, guides, and books on how to work with purpose. Today's training is how to work with purpose. It'll be available. Just email me, david@dmeltzer.com. We have our tour of meetups, holding courts, VIP dinner, interviews, speeches, TV shows, sponsorship, whatever it is. Here's the cities we're going to be in, and please email me if you'd like to join us. The cities that we are going to be in, we'll be at Los Alamitos filming. We were in Seal Beach yesterday. Thank you. I saw Lebo there. But Los Alamitos filming Go Fund Yourself. We will be at Expo West, VIP dinners, holding court, SoFi Stadium, Orange County Mastermind, Aspire Tour, with Cody Sanchez and Kevin O'Leary, myself. And then we have an Orange County, mastermind in Orange County. Then we have Las Vegas, season 10 of Office Hours, Phoenix. All right, we're going to get started. We are audio only today. And so whether you're on Clubhouse, the seminar, etc., hopefully you can hear us. But today's training, 28 years of doing training. We haven't missed a week. Sometimes Friday training has been on Thursday. Even once it was on Wednesday. But nonetheless, we've hit every single week for over 28 years, starting October 12th, 28 years ago. So we're moving towards 29. How to work with purpose. And if you'd like the exercise and guides from today, just email me, david@dmeltzer.com. David, we are blessed to be able to do this every single week for you. And today's training is one in which is very important to me, because if we work with purpose, there is no work. If our purpose is greater than our pain, then we'll never quit. Purpose is so important, and the definiteness of purpose will help you get to where you want to be, or better, guaranteed. We live in a time where opportunity, options, and touches of favor are so abundant. Our tools are so powerful, and the information that we have is unlimited and accessible in a manner that never was before, regardless of your socioeconomic status. Yet many of us feel overwhelmed. distracted, diseased, interfered with, and stretched too thin. Not because we lack ambition, but because we lack the alignment with the divine direction in which we want to be in, or the confidence and comfortability of asking for help. We have been conditioned to believe that working harder guarantees better results. But we know from experience that more effort does not always equate into more impact. So many of us are so busy working that we forget to make money, to be healthy, to spend time with our family. When we operate without intention of what we do, say, think, feel, and believe, we burn energy, interfere with the infinite energy, and we end up chasing the noise, not the divine. When we operate with the intention of what we do, say, think, feel, and believe, we are able and capable of harnessing the infinite energy towards the meaning that we give it in the divine direction in which we aim for. This training, which will be available to everybody, just email me, David, beloved, at D, first initial, Meltzer, servant, David at dmeltzer.com, is about shifting from reactive work to designed intention. It is about mastering the intention and the attention, the focused in a distracted world, an interfered world, a dis-ease world. It's about scaling ourselves intelligently in that infinite intelligence through leverage, through systems, and even AI-powered intention. And most importantly, it's about ensuring that our outcomes, our results that we produce actually matter. This is not about adding more to our plate. It's about clearing the plate so that what remains truly nourishes your growth, expansion, acceleration, aggregation, and compounds the outcomes that you desire or better. When we learn to work with purpose, we do not just improve the productivity, the accessibility, and the gratitude in our lives. We elevate the impact. How to work with purpose. If you like the exercises and guides from today, David at dmeltzer.com. The first lesson is choose intention over busyness. Choose intention over being busy. Busy is often inaccessible. Busy often is dis-ease. Busy often is noisy. Intention is not. We live in a world that rewards activity, not alignment. When we confuse motion with progress, we interfere with our energy without creating any, if at all, meaningful results. If we do not define our intention by what we do, say, think, feel, and believe, this dis-ease of distraction will define it for us. And we'll end up where we don't want to be, or worse, instead of where we want to be, or better. We've all experienced seasons where our calendars were overflowing full. Our inboxes are broken because there's so much in them. And the days are interfered with, exhausting. Yet months later, little had truly advanced. Years later, we end up quitting. Meanwhile, when we operate with clarity, with harmony, with joy, and most importantly, purpose, fewer actions produce greater outcomes. Busyness itself is a reaction. Intention of what we do, say, think, feel, and believe, intention is a design. When we work on our purpose, We turn effort into impact and activity into achievement. I'll repeat that. When we work on purpose, we turn our effort into impact and our activities into achievement. We must define what meaningful success looks like for us each and every day according to the circumstances of the day by utilizing non-negotiable behavior that is non-circumstantial and prioritizing the circumstantial behavior and aligning the meaning of our past, of the failures, setbacks, mistakes, defining moments, historical relevances of our past with our divine direction, with where we want to be or better. We need to identify the areas where we are busy, but not productive. Where are we so busy working that we're not making any money? Do you realize that most companies, 80% of their customers would bankrupt them? Because 80% of their customers, they're just breaking even or losing money. Now, it's obvious if your customers are losing you money or if you're going out of business, but you realize if you're just breaking even on your customers, you will go out of business as well and be bankrupt. So what we need to do is get purposeful and fire the clients that we're losing money with and focus in on turning our effort in those clients that we break even with into profitable partners. Begin each day, week, month, and year by always evaluating and taking inventory of our intentional outcomes in the trajectory or divine direction of what we want and who we can help and who can help us. Knowing how the circumstances of the day reprioritize or pre-prioritize each and every one of our intentions of what we do, say, think, feel, and believe with what's planned, what's not planned, what's paid for, what's not paid for, what's negotiable, what's non-negotiable. This is how we choose intention over busyness. Know what we do, say, think, feel, and believe is aligned in the divine. If you'd like the guides and exercises from today, please just email me, david@dmeltzer.com. If you'd like the template on the 5 levels of intention, please email me for the 5 levels of intention. Choose intention over business, david@dmeltzer.com. Lesson number 2, block and focus. Every disease, every distraction, it interferes with or even fractures our frequency. It disrupts the size of the spectrum of the frequency, the strength of the signal, and the clarity of the message. Constant context switching reduces or interferes with the clarity, the creativity, and even our confidence. If we allow the dis-ease of our environment to control our attention, what we focus in on, we interfere with and even will end up surrendering our potential. When we juggle dozens of tabs, nonstop notifications, and back-to-back meetings, our signal of that frequency becomes disparate, diseased, chaotic in its nature. We may actually feel productive, but we are interfering with the infinite power that we have, the infinite energy that we have, our infinite intelligence that we have, our infinite intuition that we have, the infinite inspiration that will get us to where we want to be or better. Our minds are the broadcasters and the receivers of intentions. Our minds will allow us to do, say, think, feel, and believe in alignment with where we want to be or better in a divine direction. And our minds will allow us to align the meaning of the past, the failures, mistakes, and setbacks, historical relevances, defining moments of our past. And when we clear that channel, when we tune in our focus, we strengthen that signal, we widen the spectrum, and we clarify our message with confidence and comfortability. focus is not the restriction, it is actually the amplification of our intention, of our purpose. We need to identify the distractions, the disease. We need to shift the paradigm of I am, what am I doing to interfere with it? This is my intention for today, according to my non-negotiable behavior and my negotiable behavior in alignment with where I want to be or better. What am I doing to interfere with it? Categorizing it not only as negotiable or non-negotiable, but categorizing it as, is this directing me towards where I want to be or better, or is it interfering with it? We need to eliminate, automate, and delegate. I'm going to repeat that. We need to eliminate all the interference between us and where we want to be. We need to automate the systems to get us to there, to accelerate, aggregate, and compound those outcomes. Or we need to delegate to someone else so that we can focus in on the prioritized importance of our divine direction. Establish a protected daily focus zone. When we interfere with our intention, we need to not continue in that direction. We need not to go over it, under it, through it, around it, lie to it, cheat it, manipulate it, deny it. We need to not resist what we persist, but we simply got to stop, remind and remember and recollect with our purpose, and then roll into that divine direction. We can use AI tools intentionally to reduce the repetitive, mundane, tactical work and mental clutter that interferes with our divine direction. We can use virtual assistants and outsourced help. We can use all types of software in order to facilitate, to make easy the work, so that our products become our impact and the impact becomes our purpose. Use all the tools accessible to block and focus. If you'd like the guide and exercise today and the templates that are available from the 5 levels of intention to the 5 daily practices to block and focus, if you'd like that template, email me, david@dmeltzer.com. Lesson number 3. Reclaim our source, reclaim our infinite, reclaim our energy through leverage. Our growth becomes limited or capped when our time is interfered with or bottlenecked. When we rely solely on a personal effort, we limit our expansion. We need to leverage our energy. We need to leverage it through the systems that we create, the structure that we have built, the foundation of our values and the people that surround ourselves, because we are going to be interfered with by the negativity, by the dicks in our lives. We need to remove the toxicity and utilize the positive influences through the systems and structure and values and people and AI, which will multiply exponentially and accelerate our journey and aggregate our resources that allows us to be more effective, more efficient, and more statistically successful. If we insist on personally handling everything, all of the research, all of the drafting, all of the admin, all of the strategy, we will interfere with our progress, thinking that we're perfect. When we can integrate the tools and build the systems and structures and values and people and AI, we free ourselves to an EOS, to an operating system at our highest value, so that we can use the perspective gained by gratitude and the ease gained by forgiveness and the control gained by accountability to be in spirit inspired, to utilize and reclaim, lessen the distance of resistance, and utilize the infinite energy through leveraging the systems and structures and values and peoples and AI that multiplies the outcomes in which we desire or better. We are not meant to do everything. We're meant to architect the infinite, the everything. I'm going to repeat that. We are not meant to do everything. We are meant to architect the everything for everyone. When we leverage the tools intentionally, allow them to do, say, think, feel, and believe in alignment with our doing, saying, thinking, feeling, and believing, we turn ourselves into an integrated platform of ideas, execution, and results. We become the integrated platform of gratitude, empathy, accountability, and inspiration. What we need to do is to take inventory of what our unique skills are, our unique knowledge, which will turn into wisdom, and align it with our desire, with our divine direction, so that our behaviors become devotional, not just disciplined. We need to identify, take inventory of the non-unique tasks, which we can automate, which we can delegate in order to facilitate the outcomes that we matter. We need to commit to integrating these tools, systems, and values, AI, into our divine direction, into the what, the who, the how, the now. We need to integrate it by utilizing the AAA strategy to reclaim our energy, to leverage. The AAA strategy is to get alignment, then take action according to the tools and systems and values, and prepare for adjustment by adding the architecture, the design of those systems, people, values, AI, etc. Make sure you have an offload list to codify and quantify that you actually are finding things that you can delegate, elevate. These are the things that we can automate. Make sure you're quantifying and making sure that those things are saving you time and creating the efficiencies, the effectiveness, and the statistical success by utilizing the AAA strategy. Lesson number 3, reclaim your energy through leverage. Reclaim it with the AAA strategy. If you'd like the template for the AAA strategy, email me, david@dmeltzer.com. Lesson number 4, measure what matters. You can't measure what you're not intentional or purposeful about. Focus in on, pay attention to, and give intention to what matters to you. Not what matters to other people, not what's missing, not what you don't have, not what social media tells you is important, but focus your attention and intention on what matters to you and scale the creation of potential. But potential without measurement will create an illusion. If we do not define the divine, if we do not define the impact, we will drift like 98% of the people that roll boulders to the top of the hill just to have them roll back down to the bottom. Just like in Camus' The Stranger, the myth of Sisyphus, we drift into busyness disguised as productivity. Stop drifting. Stop confusing yourself. Stop disguising your busyness as productivity. Be grateful, be productive, be accessible. We can chase vanity metrics. How many followers do I have? How many likes? How many impressions? How much noise can I create? Or we can define the metrics tied to real outcomes, not followers, but leaders, not likes, but engagement, not impressions, but impact, not noise, but message. It's the revenue, the retention, the lives impacted, the meaningful growth that you desire in your divine direction that will measure what matters for you. When and what we measure determines what we become. When and what we measure determines what we become. When our metrics are aligned with our values, our work will compound, our divine direction will be accomplished, our discipline will be more than just activity and busyness. It will be devotional behavior that will accelerate, aggregate, and compound. We need to define these impact metrics as we analyze what's doing well, what's stable, and what we think is doing well in our divine direction, or better, in our meaning of our past. When we conduct reviews of the quantitative measurements of what matter, we can ask ourselves, did our activities, did our behaviors move this metric forward? Did it move it in a progression, not perfection? Did it protect us, promote us, love, and perfect us? Regardless of the evidence of today, we can quantify the outcomes as they occur in a measurement of progress by utilizing the behaviors and not allow the busyness, the activity, to be disguised as productivity. This allows us to adjust quickly if our actions and our outcomes are not aligned in the divine direction in which we want, according to the circumstances of the day and the non-negotiable behaviors that we are committed to for the long-term outcomes that we desire, like our health, our family, our faith, our finance, by utilizing the study of time and the study of productivity. We need to share our progress intentionally to create accountability by asking ourselves, what did I do? What did I do to be responsible? What did I do to attract this to myself? And what am I supposed to learn from it? And how am I participating in this perception of it? When we learn, we grow. Life is about lessons. The lessons keep on coming until we learn them. We will forget every lesson that we have access to, and we have the power to access every lesson that there ever was. We can quantify and measure what matters. If you would like the guide to accountability of measuring what matters, the template of that accountability of attraction, responsibility, and participation in perception, email me, david@dmeltzer.com. Lesson number 5, align with purpose and with our values. Success without alignment of values leads to interference, to dis-ease. A consistent, persistent pursuit of dis-ease will cause failure. People see this as burnout. People live in the comfort zone and can burn out, but they don't call it burnout. If all you do is live in the comfort zone, never challenging yourself, never learning, never testing, never developing, never strengthening yourself, you will live in a constrictive zone, a constrictive environment that will end up burning you out or end up at zero where you can't get out of bed. The same holds true if you live in the anxiety zone. More people understand burnout in the anxiety zone, but what is really occurring is if you stay in the anxiety zone, you're creating too much interference between you and your source of infinite energy, infinite intelligence, infinite intuition, and inspiration. And it also is a constrictive environment, and it shrinks down to the point where you can't get out of bed and you want to kill yourself. When our work, when our activities, when our behavior reflects our values, we create sustainable momentum by enjoying the consistent, everyday, persistent, without quit pursuit of our own potential, not what other people know, what was missing, not what they don't have, not what social media wants for us, but rather we create sustainable momentum than short-term spikes. You see, the daily evidence have nothing to do with where you're going to be or better, other than telling you that you're protected, promoted, loved, and perfected, and you don't know what you don't know. A reminder that you're either humble or you're about to be. We have seen so many leaders achieve financial milestones, yet feel empty because they have a God-sized hole, and that money doesn't fill the hole. Because their outcomes were attached to, and their emotions were attached to and disconnected, interfering with, not guiding toward their deeper purpose. When we contrast that God-sized hole being filled with everything but God, when we contrast that with those whose businesses and service and mission are aligned with their divine direction, and the meaning of their past is aligned with their divine direction, energy flows where attention goes, and it will flow in an accelerated, aggregated manner, creating compound results of divine nature, or even better. When our impact metrics, discussed previously in lesson 4, echo align with our values of gratitude, forgiveness, accountability, and inspiration, effective communication, we create not balance, no such thing in the man-made construct limited by time. That would be an impossibility to balance a 24-hour period, a week, a month, or a year, or a lifetime. But we create harmony. Harmony reduces the interference. It reduces the internal friction, the external friction, and it increases the external influence and impact that we have. We need to elevate our awareness to why our current direction truly matters. So many people live their lives saying, I'll be happy when I make this amount of money. I'll be happy when this happens. I'll be happy when. But we need to understand for the sake of what, not I will be happy when. We need to identify whether our behaviors are a reflection, a reminder, and a remembrance of the divine and our stated values of how we're going to get there through gratitude, giving us the perspective to find light, love, and lessons, through forgiveness or empathy to find the ease that allows the flow to go, allowing accountability to teach us those lessons through being responsible, attracting and participating in a perception, and finally to effectively communicate with your source, your God, to remind, remember, and recollect with your God, to be inspired, to live in spirit in the human experience that's guaranteed a 24-hour period of time every day to live in alignment. Except for the last day, you'll be cheated. Let's make the adjustments to better align our behaviors with our purpose by using our values of gratitude, empathy, accountability, and effective communication. We can align our purpose and our values each and every day through the non-negotiables and negotiables of the 24 hours that were guaranteed, except for the last day of our lives. If you'd like those 4 values as a guidepost and create elements behind them, please just email me. I will send you Connected to Goodness, which is written about this alignment with purpose and values to manifest everything you desire in life and business. I will sign a copy, send it to you, pay for shipping and the book. Don't worry. Just email me, david@dmeltzer.com. Lesson number 6, integrate and act with courage. We must integrate and act with courage to establish true mastery. You see, true mastery is not just paying attention, not just focusing alone, not just leveraging alone. It's not just measuring alone. It's the integration of the focus, the leverage, and the measurement that creates the courage to get to where we want to be, to allow us to enjoy what we don't like or love about what we love, to enjoy the consistent, everyday, persistent, without quit pursuit of our potential. It is the integration and the acts of courage that will get us to where we want to be or better. When we align our focus, when we scale, when we impact with intention of doing, saying, thinking, feeling, believing each and every day, we elevate from reaction to design, to design divine direction, which includes aligning the meaning of our past in the integration of our acts of courage. When our tools fail, when our markets shift, reactive operators panic, they drift. Intentional operators adjust through lessons. They remain grounded in purpose, flexible like a palm tree in the wind, flexible in their execution, and resilient with adversity, because their purpose is greater than their pain. And if your purpose is greater than your pain, you will integrate and act with courage. By adopting new tools and architecture and systems and workflows, it may feel uncomfortable or risky. But to develop and grow, we require the mitigation and calculation of risk. We must know our timing and risk tolerance, so we will only be disappointed when we fail. We will not be resentful, guilty, or create interference between us and our inspiration. When we act with courage and intention, we are constantly growing, expanding to our potential, to our capacity. Helping to integrate and act with courage allows us to learn from the past and allow the meaning of the past to propel us, promote us, and protect us towards our future. Create a blueprint for yourself of intentionality, of what I'm going to do, say, think, feel, and believe. Be a student of your calendar as a blueprint of intentionality. Be a student of your calendar. Study the productivity, accessibility, and gratitude. See what you have planned, unplanned, paid for, unpaid for, negotiable, non-negotiable, scheduled, not scheduled, non-time, scheduled time. Focus in on all of the different blocks. Scale with the tools and the support that you need to automate, elevate, and delegate to integrate. Look at the impact and measure the metrics that we will own, and be intentional about what you do, say, think, and feel, and believe by being a student of your calendar. Ask yourself, for the sake of what, not I'll be happy when. Lesson number 6, integrate and act with courage. If you would like the template for student of the calendar, if you'd like to learn to be a student of the calendar, if you want to study, pay attention, and give intention to what coincides in your life, the coincidences that you want, then email me, david@dmeltzer.com. We need to work with purpose. Stop being so busy you forget to make money. Choose, number 1, the intention over busyness. Lesson number 2, block and focus. Distraction fractures our frequency. Lesson number 3, reclaim energy. Clear the interference, shorten the distance of resistance with wisdom and faith through leverage of the systems and peoples and the values and the AI that will compound your outcomes. Lesson number 4, measure what matters. Lesson number 5, align with purpose and values. And lesson number 6, integrate, and act with courage. If you would like the guide from today or the templates that I mentioned for each of these lessons, email me, david@dmeltzer.com. And as we step back and reflect, remind, and remember, one truth becomes clear in the infinite, that our work, our behaviors is a mirror of our intention, of what we do, say, think, feel, and believe, aligned with our divine direction and aligned with the meaning of our past. If our intention is scattered, diseased, and disrupted, our results will be scattered, diseased, and disrupted. If our intention is focused, aligned, and courageous, our results will not only accelerate, come faster, not only aggregate with more resources, but will compound exponentially, giving us even better. The tools we use, including AI, are not the source of our success. It is our clarity, our harmony, and our focus, our intention that is. Technology built to make humans more human. Technology simply amplifies the signal that we choose to broadcast. It makes humans more human. It makes your skills more skillful, your knowledge more knowledgeable to wisdom, and your desire more desired. So the real question is not whether we can work harder. The question is whether we will work more intentionally, with clarity, harmony, and joy, doing our best, learning lessons, and having fun. Because when we work with purpose, we do not just produce outcomes. We build a legacy by empowering others to empower others to empower others. It is not what you leave, it's what you empower other people to leave that will be your legacy. And our work becomes the reflection, the reminder, and the remembrance of who we choose to become. This has been the How to Work with Purpose training. The exercises, guides, and templates that were discussed today are all free. And book, David, that means beloved, @D, my first initial, Meltzer means servant. David@dmeltzer.com. If you have ordered Don't Do Business with Dix, if you do order Don't Do Business with Dix, please email me and let me know. I will send you my other books alongside to help you supplement that book as well. I'll sign them, send them to you, pay for shipping and those books. Just email me as well, David@dmeltzer.com. Nick of Wam, we got a fourth quarter Q&A session coming up. Why don't you go ahead and reset the room? We are blessed to be here and blessed to have you here with us as well.
Absolutely. And thank you for empowering us on how to work with purpose. And just as a final reminder for everybody, if you would like the guide and exercise from today's training, all you got to do is email David directly, david@dmeltzer.com. Once again, just david@dmeltzer.com, and I'll make sure to put that in the room chat for everyone. And of course, as well, once you get your copy of Don't Do Business with Dix, I know the Breakfast with Champions has been celebrating and getting their copies. Once you have, let David know. He will send you the rest of his books. He'll send a copy, sign a copy, and even pay for shipping. Just reach out to him directly, david@dmeltzer.com. And now as we open it up for the fourth quarter Q&A session, if you are live here in the Breakfast with Champions and have a question for David today, please use the hand icon if you are in the audience to request to join the stage, and we will bring you up. Of course, if you are already on stage here, please just put a quick note in the room chat and we'll be happy to pass the mic over your way. Now, without further ado, David, it is time for the Meltzer Double. Of course, no family affiliation, just kindred spirits and souls. Mr. Eric Meltzer, happy Friday, my friend. Always good to see you here. What do you got for us?
Hey there. Thank you so much, Nick and Dave. I really felt like you were speaking to me, Dave, as you gave this lesson. So I have two questions. First, one of the things that I noticed you said is we have the ability to learn lessons like from throughout the entire course of time, something along those lines. I would love for you to expound on that. And then the second is when you were talking about delegation, I know that AI can be useful for delegation, but I'm also like a one man show for a lot of the stuff I do. So would love your thoughts. Thank you.
Yeah, well, the idea that there is an infinite amount of information and we have the ability to access that information and we have the power to remember that information, but we also only have a capacity to remember that information some of the time. And so it's much more important to realize that I will forget every lesson that I've ever learned or ever was learned, but I have the power to remember it, remind with it, recollect it. And as technology grows and is much more powerful, we are seeing how accessible that information is. You see, the cloud that exists today that allows us to access this information and process it at such extraordinary speeds is just a mirror reflection of the consciousness and the Akashic records that exist. You could imagine an infinite cloud that holds every lesson that there ever was and ever will be. And you have the power without Google, without ChatGPT to access that information, to channel that information. That's why sleep is so essential, not just because of the recovery, but because of the access that occurs in the subconscious and unconscious level and the quantum level. And although the second part of what you said is not a question, it was a statement. Can you formulate a question from the second part of what you said?
Yes, thank you. So I guess the better question would be is, how does someone delegate when there is not necessarily another person to delegate tasks to?
Well, there's always other people to delegate tasks to, or systems to delegate tasks to, or virtual assistants, or outsourced assistants, or partners, or affiliates, or friends, or family, or AI to delegate to. And if you don't feel comfortable utilizing any of those in the particular situation, then you should prioritize all the things that you need to do yourself. But you should constantly looking for delegative tasks that can be utilized with systems and softwares and AI and outsourced people and virtual assistants and affiliate partners and channel partners and family and friends that can help you. If you feel as if you have no one to help you, then you're not asking.
That makes a lot of sense. Thank you so much, Dave.
You got it, my friend. I will see you soon. It's going to be very exciting to see you highlighted on Go Fund Yourself, the #1 show on Cheddar. All right, Nick of WOM, the Well-Oiled Machine, the fastest growing podcast that we have. What do you got up next?
Absolutely. We got our good friend, Mr. Brent Nichols, up next. So, Brent, happy Friday, my friend. Why don't you unmute yourself and carry us on with the next question?
Happy Friday, Meltzerverse. Beloved Meltzer. This is Brenton Beloved Nichols. How are you today?
I'm blessed. Thank you. David.
Yeah, I love the message for today. It's so simple. You make things so simple, right? Your chapter in Don't Do Business with Dicks about how time is not linear. Freaking gold. Everyone should just study that, and then everything becomes very clear. Anyway, my question is,
what was the name of that chapter?
The dichotomy of...
Do you remember the name of that chapter?
It was something with dicks. Is you know where your dick is going?
Yeah, something like that. I liked it. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, know where that dick's going. All right. So the question I have for you is the dichotomy of like flow, right? The present's all we got. We got to do things that align with our everything. All the stuff you talked about. But there's this inherent uncomfortableness, right? There's this risk adverse fear. And it's like, oh, well, that's not flow. So maybe I should be doing this. And it gets us doing the wrong things. How do you circumvent what you should be doing versus what you should be getting through and learning and breaking out of? So I feel like that's a really good, I feel like you could kind of like do 3 words on that one and make it go boom.
Yeah, stop, drop, and roll. shift your paradigm. You know, a lot of people have trouble grasping the basis or the premise of the infinite. In the infinite is I am. And if I am infinite, then what am I doing to interfere with it? If I'm part of the omniscient, all-powerful, all-knowing, unified, abundant system of thought that exists, what am I doing to interfere with it? Not how to go get it. And so I want everyone to work on understanding my objective is for you to believe in something bigger than you that's omniscient, all-powerful, and all-knowing. That's part of an infinite, abundant, unified system. And so when you are not in the flow, you're interfering with the flow. And you need to identify how you interfere with the flow. Usually it's your reaction to the response to fear or uncertainty that exists at all time. And so when we can, instead of going over it, under it, through it, around it, resisting it, lying to it, cheating, manipulating, and denying it, when we simply can stop and breathe and identify, this is what I'm doing to interfere with it. I'm going to stop and drop and breathe and remind and recollect and remember God or source or whatever it is, that infinite, abundant, unified system of lessons. Then I can roll back into the divine direction, align the meaning of that interference with where I want to be instead of resisting it. Does that sound fair?
More than fair, my friend. And life is good. Thank you, beloved.
Beloved. And if anybody would like to stop, drop, and roll, that's easy to give you as well. David@dmeltzer.com. Nick of WOM, who is up next?
Absolutely. We're going to keep womming along here. And I'm
Womming along.
to...
You want to write? We should do an AI song about womming along. I'm just womming along, singing a song, smoking a bong. I don't know what else.
Oh, God.
Go ahead.
It just came through me. I don't know. I'm going to pass it over to Marco Antonio for the next question. Marco, my friend, happy Friday. What do you got for us this fine Friday?
Hey, I'm digging the song. Good morning, everybody.
Right on. I bet you are.
Yeah, David. So lately I've been using a lot more social media. I find myself just using my phone all the time, even in between my scheduled activities. And I haven't really designated a social media person yet. So I could easily go from doing things on my phone for business to then doom scrolling, you know, without even realizing it. So I've been hesitant to delegate somebody to help me with my personal branding social media. So I'm getting my own. Any advice on just being better at integrating and acting with courage when it comes to having more trust with this part of what I'm doing with my social media?
Yeah, I mean, you're at such an early stage that, you know, you need to focus in on capturing your essence, your authenticity. Those are two different things. The authenticity is the carry on and the consistent behaviors of your brand. Your essence is your frequency. And you early on are the only ones that knows that frequency. So you need to capture it, but you should start looking for people that can modify it, amplify it, and perpetuate it for you. Those are mundane administrative tasks that can be used with AI. They can be used with outsourced help. They can be used with family, friends, and associates. But you should take control of the capture and start working on delegating the modification, amplification, and perpetuation of your content.
Thank you, David. I'm going to work on that. You know, I've always wanted it to remain authentic with my brand, and that's been a big challenge, but there's other things that I can get help with. So I appreciate that.
You will stay authentic and at your essence if you're capturing your content. All right.
All right. Right on, David.
Congrats, man. Keep up the great work. The incredible Marco Antonio. All right, Nick of WOM, we got 5 minutos remaining.
Yes, sir. I'm going to pass it over to our favorite 2 letters of the alphabet, GG. GG, happy Friday. Thank you for always being here and for your help as always. What do you got for us with the next question?
Happy Friday, everyone. Can you guys hear me?
Hi.
Hello?
Loud and clear.
Hi. Yeah. So, David, as I am out on, taking a vacation, and I'm also listening to this and thinking about my purpose, is like why most people would just say, oh, prioritize what's important, but not use also urgency. Like I could say, oh, I'm busy. I'm not even going to join the audio and do my thing. but I chose to prioritize. And when you're talking about purpose, it made me think exactly of what I'm doing right now. And also, thank you for teaching me this.
You're welcome. Yeah, look, there's tons of people all day long that live in blame, shame, and justification. And when we prioritize what we want in alignment with where we want to be, my favorite is, oh, sorry, I didn't have time to call you back. I know Nick the other day was telling me about people that ghost him when all they have to do is just text them and say, hey, I'll call you back on Monday, on Friday, on Wednesday, or 2 words, I'm busy. Right. And so when people tell you below the line bullshit, you realize that they got work to do. And now you have to judge the relativity of that relationship, the association of that relationship, the feeding and bleeding in that relationship. You also can categorize them as people that are, hardly ever the time, some of the time, or almost all the time people. Because you want to prioritize people like places, things, events, and situations in the same. And so as you are prioritizing what's important to you, you have to use the values, which are indicative of what you're doing today on your ski trip, right? You're grateful, right? You are looking for light, love, and lessons and how to be able to show up to what's important. Forgiveness for the below the line behavior and mistakes, lies, manipulation that you've encountered and possessed in the past. Accountability. What did I do today to be responsible for showing up or not showing up? What did I do to attract this to myself? And how am I participating in the perception that I have time or I don't have time? But most importantly, what am I supposed to learn from it? And if we do that through gratitude of perspective and empathy of ease and control of accountability, we can live in spirit, above the line, inspired to be the best that we can be, to learn the lessons to get us to where we want to be protected, promoted, loved, and perfected when there's no evidence or the evidence is contrary to where we want to be, so that we don't quit, so that we don't live with dis-ease, mental dis-ease, physical dis-ease, spiritual dis-ease. And by doing so, we will make a lot of money, help a lot of people, and have a lot of fun. All right, Nick of Wam, why don't we close out the room? We appreciate you, everybody. We've been doing this for over 28 years. Once again, if you would like the books, guides, exercise, and templates, david@dmeltzer.com. Nick of Wam, please close out the clubhouse. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. Appreciate your patience with the video. Glad it came back. And really looking forward to a great week. Got that, Mikey. Just look at genius. What's up, Mike?
We got to figure it out. Nothing that ChatGPT cannot fix, I'm like, please help. Here's the situation. Boom.
Yeah, right on. All right. Put up the cities we're going to be in. Let's start inviting people. Thank you, Mike, for producing the show today. All right. There we go. We were in Seal Beach yesterday at the CEO Summit. We'll be filming Go Fund Yourself, Meetup Holding Court VIP dinner. Then we will be at the Expo West in Anaheim and VIP dinner in Orange County. Aspire Business Tour, Kevin O'Leary, Cody Sanchez, me, Eddie Wilson, Andrew Cordell. Then back to Orange County for a SoFi Mastermind. Not SoFi Mastermind. We are in Orange County. I don't see the SoFi Mastermind. Oh, maybe that's LA. We have an Orange County Mastermind. Vegas for season 10 of Office Hours. We'll be at the Professional Athlete Community Function, VIP dinner holding court. EO there in Phoenix as well, speeches and interviews. And then we have 2 spots left for the Masters Mastermind. Join us in Augusta, Georgia. If you want that bucket list item, go ahead and join us. If you want to join us, it's david@dmeltzer.com. If you want to stay informed or invited to the more than 200 different things we have this year, join our text community, 949-298-2905. Frank Villa is interested in coming to Phoenix. Reach out, 949-298-2905 to be informed and invited to all this stuff. Remember, most importantly, though, be more interested than interesting. Be kind to your future self and do good deeds. Hit it, Mikey.
Welcome to Office Hours, hosted by legendary sports executive, entrepreneur, and investor David Meltzer, where the brightest entrepreneurial minds in business, sports, and entertainment get together to talk about success, failure, and everything in between.
At the end of the day, man, we've got to condition ourselves to make the right choices and give us the power over the external circumstances instead of the external circumstances having power over us.
And once you do that, you start to figure out, hey, I can do this, and maybe I can do this, and then your self-esteem grows.
The truth is, change can be hard, growth can be scary, but nothing is as hard and scary as being stuck somewhere you don't belong.
Take a deep dive into the mind of some of the world's most impactful guests.
Growth doesn't come by talking a lot. Growth comes by listening, by learning, by being curious.
You'll upgrade your knowledge, your skills, your habits, and you'll upgrade your beliefs so that you believe that you can do this.
You will succeed. You just have to believe in yourself and never stop trying.
To share their strategies and tools to dominate their respective fields.
The most important thing is really to work on yourself. It all starts and work on your mind.
And I said, if you can get 1% better every day, by the end of the month, you have 33%. Tell me a business you can earn 33% a month. So it's a great investment.
I'm not attached to my career, my notoriety, my financial success. I'm not attached to it. I have no self-worth tied up in Gary Vee or Gary Vaynerchuk, the entrepreneur. My self-worth is fully and utterly 100% attached to how I treat human beings.
Issue where you save time is that if you really know your why, right, then why are you doing it? Are you doing a career because your parents said that's what success is?
David Meltzer hosts Office Hours.